Welcome to a busted play. An illegal use of hands to the face short.
Le'Veon Bell is now a member of the Baltimore Ravens, at least the practice squad, not the official roster. But we talked about this the other day with the Baltimore Ravens losing one of their big running backs in J.K. Dobbins, and how they lose another running back, a slightly less known guy named Justice Hill, but he would have been the third running back, moving up to the number two running back with J.K. Dobbins' injury. Now they've only got Gus the Bus and no one really behind him. I guess there's a bunch of people in fantasy thinking that the fourth running back they had on roster is really about to take off. But I don't see that, and I think the Le'Veon Bell signing is kind of a big deal for them. So what are you thinking here?
Uh, yeah. I mean, with how the practice squad situation is set up now in the NFL, since the COVID season last year, where you can protect players, over the course of weeks and just keep putting that protection on them. The Ravens have set up to give Le'Veon Bell 2-3 weeks to learn the playbook and then inject him into that offense. Wouldn't have been my first choice for running back. I would have picked Frank Gore or Adrian Peterson, a guy with a little bit more experience to be put into that spot. No, Lev Bell was the best running back on the market, and I obviously think that the Ravens brass realized that, and we're like, we need to get something at running back now that we just have Gus the Bus. Not that Gus the Bus is bad, but he operates well when he is not the bell cow. Not that any running back in the Ravens offense is a bell cow, but the best bell cow would be Bell. So Le'Veon Bell, I mean, he's going to upgrade that offense from where it is. Is it going to be an upgrade from where J.K. Dobbins had, or would be if he was healthy and in there? I might say yes to that. I know that he hasn't really been the same since he was with the Steelers, and he took his whole 1 year vacation in Miami, jet skiing and rapping. But he said he won't play for Andy Reid anymore, and I think the best way to get back at Andy Reid is to meet him in the AFC Championship game and beat him.
Ooh, ooh, boy, I wasn't expecting you to go that far here.
I'm
No, yeah,
just in a perfect world. In a perfect world.
of course, of course. Yeah, no, I'm really excited for this. I like the idea. He's a little bit of a change of pace back from Gus the Bus, but actually probably fairly similar to J.K. Dobbins. But I mean, Le'Veon Bell's running style is so unique; it's unlike anybody else in the league, like ever. Really, I can't say that
Hmm.
there's anyone that you're really point to and say that he's that similar. I didn't think he was really getting pushed in Kansas City to be the best version of himself, and definitely not in New York either. So I'm really actually interested to see him get back on a team where I think like they actually value running the ball like a lot. And I just feel like schematically he probably didn't fit with Andy Reid, and that rubbed him the wrong way, and probably also Andy Reid too. I'm really excited to see him get back into an offense that is really run first focused, and just be able to see him take his slow paced approach to running the ball and then shooting up in a gap when it finally opens up after standing behind the line for like 2 to 3 seconds and gaining like 8 yards on a run. Oh, I'm very excited to see that again because it's
Mm,
so unique. It's almost
yeah.
like it's almost like how like Kobe talked about basketball with like it being an art form. It's just so different from anything else anybody does. I don't know why. Other people may think it's boring. I love the way he does it because nobody else does it like that.
Yeah, it's been 3, 4 seasons since he's been with a team that really wanted him to be there. Uh, his time with the Jets, Adam Gase never wanted him to be there. It was a decision that the GM made, and Adam Gase was like, "Well, I like to throw the ball." So, yeah, you should probably run it when you got one of the best running backs in the NFL on your team, and then just didn't utilize it at all. And then I think Kansas City's management is just like, well, let's bring in all this talent that we can and see what Andy does with it. And then they bring in Le'Veon Bell, and like you said, doesn't work out schematically with what the Chiefs want to do as an offense. So he wasn't really wanted there. He's wanted desperately in Baltimore. Like they need someone, and I mean, it just works out so perfectly having him there, just falling right into the lap of them after these injuries. Still keeping Gus too, who's good. I mean, Tyson Williams, I can't believe you discredited him like that, saying that he's gonna be trash. He's really going to be a change of pace back for them too. I don't know what his running style is either. I don't know what he is, but he's the third running back, and the Ravens do get deep into their running back depth chart when they run the ball. I think he was mainly a special teams guy, or would be mainly a special teams guy, but he's going to get carries now. And the Ravens running the ball, the Ravens offense in general is fantastic, and putting Le'Veon Bell in that. We'll see him for the first couple weeks is what I'm predicting. I think week 3 is when he'll finally get in because I think he could protect a guy on the practice squad 2 times or 3 times over the season. Once it gets in to like week 4, I think they'll put them in because if or put him in because if it gets that far and running backs can get injured early in the season, if that happens, I wouldn't be surprised if a team scoops him up out the practice squad if they don't protect him.
Yeah, I don't, you know what? I don't actually really see another team scooping him up off the practice squad, mostly because I feel like they had the opportunity to all off season if they wanted to. I don't see it coming during the season unless somebody is absolutely like destroyed at the running back position. Then maybe they would think about it. But I wouldn't worry about it too much for Baltimore. And I think your initial reaction is kind of correct of like maximum he's probably only staying on the practice squad like 4 weeks before they realize, hey man, this guy's got to come up to the active roster because that number 2 spot for the RB is too important for them to have the young man you mentioned before taking significant snaps from my point of view. Now, I don't know anything about him, so maybe I shouldn't say that immediately, but I'd just rather have a guy at least that I know has seen a decent amount of stuff in the league. And then the obvious first thing I checked when I saw that he finally officially signed to the practice squad of the Ravens was, when are those Pittsburgh games? And they both come later in the season, not until December, and I think the second one's in January. So I'm ready for those too, just to see how he does when he plays against Pittsburgh again. And he'll see them twice a year from now on if he decides to stay with the Ravens past this season, if he indeed does have some sort of role with them. And I think he could. And I think this really could be probably not a crazy year like he was having with Pittsburgh, because he was obviously the number 1 RB in all those schemes. But
Mm-hmm.
just getting back to being a decent ball carrier in this league, he's probably going to stay the RB2 just because Gus the Bus has been there longer. But I feel like when he steps on the field again, he'll finally have an impact again for the first time in a few years, really like 3 years now.
Yeah. The Ravens only having 2 running backs on roster right now. Expect to see a lot of Pat Ricard and Ben Mason out there. I'm excited to see those 2 hefty men rumble.
Did Ben Mason come back? Ben Mason got cut
Oh, he did move.
before
I
the
didn't
season, I'm pretty sure.
well, it's a good thing you covered the AFC for our cuts. Check out that video. Uh
Yeah.
because I did not see that. I would have said that was the worst cut in the AFC North then if he got cut.
Yeah, no, I only didn't because I knew they had another fullback, and I guess they didn't. Yeah, he could have came back, but I'm pretty sure he got let go, and I don't know if he came back after this.
He's
injury
on
or
the
what.
Patriots, so he's
Oh boy,
yeah,
he's
never
on
mind.
the Patriots now.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh.
I think it might be time to cut this conversation then because we might go on a tangent about how that's a really great pickup for New England.
Those are the 2 AFC teams that we talk about when we talk about running the football. They're really the only. Oh, really, I should just say they're the only like power run games still. It's New England and Baltimore, like running some sort of like downhill attacking approach, as opposed to all the other like well-known run games nowadays are all stretch outside zone run games that are really trying to get to the edge most of the time. That's why New England and Baltimore are just so different from those other teams we can talk about, like the Niners or the Rams or anyone else like that. So yeah,
Yeah. Yeah, Le'Veon Bell's gonna be good for the Ravens. That's my final thought.
yes, I agree. You all set?
Yeah, I think we can cut this here.